All right, week 3 NFL show. Joined as always, Noah Yutt, Teddy Dolinsky. Noah's one floor beneath me. Teddy in Detroit, Michigan. We are missing our Paradise correspondent, Jeff, this week with technical difficulties. Where I wanted to start, we have record updates from this past week. So the tied for first and having the best week so far of any of the people on the show. Teddy went 7-1 last week, was a 11-point blown fourth quarter lead from the Chiefs away from a perfect 8-0. He's now 12-8 on the year, 60%, 1-1 on locks. I am 9-6, 60%. Went 3-5 last week, missed my lock, 1-1. Noah is 6-8, 43%, 1-7 last week. Jeff is 15-18, 45%, 7-7 last week. Noah, so I wanted to start with you. I think this is a good place to start. First week you were 5-1.
Correct.
This past week you
Last
were
week,
1-7.
So
What should the fans expect from you moving forward? It's a very Jekyll and Hyde performance. Should they trust the guy they saw in week 1 or be fearful of the guy they saw in week 2?
I'm fearful of the guy I saw in week 2. I am very afraid for week 3. It's not looking good. I don't have a whole lot of confidence right now. I'd stick with Teddy's picks. We'll bounce back maybe a little bit this week, see how we're feeling for week 4. But right now, I'm not concerned. I'm not worried, but I am nervous.
Okay. And Teddy, I guess on the opposite end of the spectrum here, you're seeing the board clearly. Do you think you see it as clearly this week as last week? What was the pick you knew? I mean, you had the Panthers being the lock. They blew out the Saints. That was pretty impressive. Do you have a repeat performance in store? Or are you still seeing the board well in week 3?
I think I'm going to see the board well. I'm keeping it hot. I mean, college, I even had a great day. So it's just all around a great weekend. Thank you, Noah. I really appreciate it. Anytime you're so confident in a pick, I will definitely go against it again. I mean, the Bears just showed up and played, man. I appreciate it. So we'll see what you have to say this week, and maybe I'll just do it again.
Yeah, it was pretty much anything that could have gone wrong for me did go wrong. There wasn't like a particular really bad beat like I had in week 1, but it was just like the Chargers thing where Justin Herbert got sacked when he was throwing the ball away. The Seahawks somehow losing that game to the Titans. It's just like the Cardinals only winning by 1 in a shootout. Like there was just so many just weird things that happened to me, and it's just everything that I was taking was missing left and right, and it was close down the stretch in several of those, but as far as the final score. But watching a lot of those games, it was pretty apparent early on that a lot of them weren't going to hit. It was a rough week. It was a very rough week.
And Noah, I do have to issue you an apology because you were not 1-7. You were 2-6. I counted the Bills as a loss for you accidentally. That's on me. You had that and the Vikings over.
Yes. Those are the two.
That's on me. So you're 7-7, 50%.
Okay, I'll take it.
So yeah, still treading water. That's where you like to be.
I am a lot more units down than I would like to be because I put way too much on the Chiefs Sunday night, and that blew everything. I was down a good amount going into that game, and I didn't double down. I tripled down, and that blew up in my face. So yeah,
that's tough. All right, so couple things to recap from last week. We'll do player of the week, best performance, worst performance. If there's any particular games you guys wanted to discuss, we can do that as well. I'll start with player of the week. I had Mike Edwards of the Bucs. He had 2 pick sixes in that game against Atlanta. Best performance, the Tennessee Titans. Huge comeback. They needed every bit of that performance there in Seattle. 24-9. They were losing at the half. End up winning 33-30, I believe the final score was. And then worst performance, the Miami Dolphins. It sucked that Tua got injured. I know both you are not Tua fans. However, 30. You can't really lose in division 35-0. Jacoby Brissett's serviceable enough to keep it close. The defense, there's no excuse for the defense giving up 35 points. It's kind of my bottom line on that one. And then, yeah, so worst performance of Miami Dolphins. Teddy, if you wanted to take the baton here.
Yeah, absolutely. I will go with the performance of the week is Lamar Jackson. I mean, he got it done against the Chiefs. Week one, I would say, or week two. I'm sorry, week one. I'm losing it, man. It's a little late. Yeah, week one, he had it rough. I know he tried to do everything, couldn't make it work. But anytime you can beat a good team at home, and the Chiefs obviously are going to go deep, so I think that's a big win early on as my performance of the week.
Mm-hmm.
The winner, I would say the Packers. I think they handled business, a little get right game, especially in the division. You always like to see a divisional win. Everyone thinks, week one was preseason. So, I mean, the Packers are right. It's preseason, just like, Noah had a great preseason last week, didn't have a good time. So, myself, week one, I told you, we're going to be back. We are. So I'd go with the Packers as my winner. And my loser, I'm going to probably go with the Dolphins too. They're just all over the place. Still don't like him. They don't have that right tackle to support him. And I guess I'll throw the Jets in as well. I mean, they're just a disaster. Zach Wilson has nothing going on. It's a shit show.
Yeah, I had higher expectations for Zach Wilson, obviously. I'm gonna do the old Big J move and blame it on everyone else for now. Noah, you want to dive into your weekly awards of week two?
Yeah, so my player of the week is Derek Carr. So it's 2 straight weeks where Derek Carr has looked spectacular, especially going up against the Steelers defense, which has been one of the best defenses in the league for the last couple of years. I know they're a little bit banged up. TJ Watt didn't play pretty much half the game, but he looked dominating. And in week one, where he was trying to throw the ball to Darren Waller as many times as he could, he really spread it around this time, showed that he is much more than just someone who, can't get past his first read. He's a great arm. The Raiders, I didn't think they were going to be very good this year, but, they could win a few games, maybe sneak their way into a wild card spot. We'll see.
Maybe win the division. They're in first place.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they could. I wouldn't rule it out, but I don't really see them maintaining long-term success through an entire season. I don't think they're a particularly deep team. There may be 1 or 2 injuries away. I know Josh Jacobs didn't play, but Kendrick Drakes is a solid backup, but they could be pretty solid. My performance of the week, I'm going to zig where you guys zagged, or zag where you guys zigged. The Dolphins were downright awful, but anytime you pitch a shutout to a professional football team, that's pretty damn good. So I'm going to go Bills, even in a game where Josh Allen didn't look spectacular. 35-0. It's a dominating win against a team that won 10 games last year. I know Tua didn't play, but like you said, Jacoby Brissett, he's an NFL quarterback. He's started for a few teams a couple years. So that was a really good win, really solid performance by their defense. My worst performance of the week, I guess I could go Jets. Zach Wilson threw 4 picks. I could go Bengals. Joe Burrow threw 3 picks. Dolphins obviously didn't score
on 3 straight plays.
On 3 straight plays. That was brutal because I had the Bengals money line in that, and it was looking really good until those 3 plays. One of which was a pick 6, so that was awful. But where was I going? Oh, yes. So my loser of the week is the NFL Rules Committee, because the taunting rules suck. They are awful. They have ruined some games, like the Seahawks taunting on Tennessee. Like, I get that he was looking at him, but really, like, is that what you're trying to eliminate? Like, he's just pumped up after a play. Yeah, he looks him in, he looks him down and he yells, but it's not like harming anybody. They are effectively changing outcomes of games after big plays, on big emotional plays late in games. It's already screwed me over. It's going to screw a ton of teams over. It's effectively going to change the outcome of a playoff game, and it's going to screw a lot of people out of money too. It's just, Chuck, me, I am one who disagrees with the amount of penalties they already call, specifically with pass interference. And it's one of the reasons why I have really stopped watching the NBA because, you know, after the whole Kawhi Leonard injury, referees started calling a lot of, you know, shooting fouls on shooters, protecting the shooters. And I get that, you know, some things are about the health of the players, but this is not about the health of the players. They are just stopping the clock more often. They're throwing more penalties. They're changing the momentum of games. And it's awful to watch. It's awful to watch. I understand, you know, there comes a point where you want to try to get players to not get in each other's face and prevent all-out brawls between the two teams. But there has to be a sweet spot between what it's at now and what it was, you know, maybe in the previous years. Because right now it's ridiculous. People are getting called for penalties that are nothing, You know, they just shouldn't be called. So NFL Rules Committee is my loser of the week.
I like it. I like the NBA analogy too, with the landing area of the shooter. I like that a lot. And then going off the refs thing, I don't know if you saw it maybe on Twitter or something, because I know you were out watching a Marvel movie. The Chargers had like 3rd and goal from the 1 or something, and Herbert dropped back to like the 15. I don't know if you saw the play or not.
Yeah, I saw that.
They ruled it a sack when he really wasn't.
That was brutal considering I have Herbert on 2 fantasy teams. I also have Eckler on a fantasy team. I had Chargers minus 3.5. I just had a lot riding on the team. I'm a Chargers fan this year. That was brutal to watch.
Yeah, and it's a tough call to make in the 4th quarter. Like there's so many other plays where you can win and lose, obviously. So it's not all comes down to that play, but it's a big spot.
Yeah, and that's not even like the taunting, but it's just, you know, just bad officiating. You know, I did not really like the roughing the passer changes they made a couple of years ago. Like, I feel like, you know, obviously you got to protect the quarterbacks, but, you know, there's plays where, you know, players just kind of fall into them, you know, kind of get wrapped up around their shoes, or, you know, maybe they accidentally clip the side of their helmet and they're just getting these 15-yard penalties for Bush League stuff. And it's the same thing with pass interferences when they changed that, you know, 5-6 years ago at this point. The NFL is such a great product. It's going to really take a lot to take viewers away from you know, from the NFL. But man, these penalties are really, really hurting the product. I'm not saying I'm going to stop watching anytime soon. I love the NFL, but I just don't like the direction they're going with all these flags.
Yeah, I think it's more of sending a message. Obviously, we don't like it, but I think early on, it's September. They're going to, you know, let them know about it so everyone kind of cools off. I wouldn't be too worried. I mean, if it goes into October, yeah, I'd be a little bit worried, but obviously it's still early, so I'm not going to go full crazy mode on it yet. But I do agree, it's not nice. I don't like it. It's disgusting with the game, kind of ruining it. But I think it's going to be better coming October.
I hope so.
Oh, also honorable mention for performance of the week, Teddy Bridgewater, man. He just covering machine. I like to see it.
That's all it does.
I just want to keep it going. I don't know. I'm scared if he's gonna, you know, have a little relapse. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, yeah, I will talk about that game later. It's not one of the games of the week, but it is something that I like. All right, so this week, there's a ton of really good games this week.
I think the Broncos are favored by 10. It's double digits.
I know it's like that, unstoppable force versus the immovable object is Teddy Bridgewater versus a double-digit underdog. So the first game I want to talk about, Chargers at Chiefs, both 1-1 teams coming off losses. First time Herbert's experiencing the Arrowhead in full. Chiefs are 6.5-point favorites. The over/under is 55.5. Noah, we'll start with you on this one with your San Diego Superchargers.
I can't bet against them. I told you last week I'm going to be betting on them a lot this year. I know they didn't hit last week. I think the officiating has a little bit to do with that. Obviously, like you said earlier, there's other opportunities to win the game. I can't blame everything on the calls, so I'm not going to. I don't think they're going to win this game. Good teams win, but great teams cover. I'm taking the Chargers plus 6.5. I'm definitely taking the over this game. I think it's 55.
55.
This game's going well into the 60s. It might even sniff 70.
Jesus. Okay. that would be awesome. I mean, that would be a hell of a game in the 1 p.m. slate. Good week for the Hanson, I guess. Teddy, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of pretty much agree with what Noah said. I think the Chiefs, they just don't lose two straight and two straight early. I can't see it, even though they had a tough game. So I definitely think they win. I'm going to go with them covering, though. I think it's going to be a late, Chargers last chance. Maybe they're down, like 5 or 6, and then, Chiefs just come back and either get a touchdown or a cheap field goal to go up, two possessions. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think I'll take Chiefs minus 6.5, especially because it's not above a touchdown. And the over-under, again, yeah, it's like a college over-under of like 70. So you got to take it when it's over 54, 55. So I'll go with the over as well.
Yeah, what's kind of nice too. I like, and this kind of ties into the college thing. Next week we have Alabama, Ole Miss. So like this is like kind of the appetizers to the shootout that will be in Tuscaloosa the week after. I love the Chargers in this game. I think the Chiefs for Vegas are publicly one of the most overvalued teams in the NFL. Well, are the most overvalued team. They're 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 regular season games since November 30th. I could see this. I think at the end we'll have the Chargers with the ball with a chance to win the game. So I think they keep it inside the number. I would like it to get to 7 because then I'm 100% like I'm all in on 7. I will still take 6.5, but if that thing got to 7, I would love that. And I'm rooting for the over. That would be where I lie there. The other thing with the Chiefs too is we need to see if the defense ever shows up. Them and the Bucks both are giving up a lot of points, a lot more than probably either of them. Hopefully, and we'll get to the Bucks soon. All right, next is Colts Titans. Titans -5. Do you guys know the status of Carson Wentz right now? Because I do not. I have no idea if he's playing.
No, but I think it's hilarious that he sprained both ankles.
Yes, I agree. It is hilarious.
I don't root for injuries, but how? How do you sprain both ankles?
So the Titans laying 5 over under 48. The game is in Nashville. Teddy, you can lead us off.
I mean, that was a very impressive win for the Titans. Obviously, there's a little bit going back and forth, but anytime you get it done in Seattle, I wasn't on the Titans early last week, but changed my mind late. So thank you, Chuck, and thank you, Tony. He'll come back in October.
Yes,
but thank you for your confidence within that pick. So I added that to my card as my week was just rolling. But yeah, I mean, the Colts, they're a solid defense, but who knows what Carson Wentz can do if he is playing. Just can't really see the Colts winning this game, and even keeping it close. I think the Titans are going to go back at home, and just roll, have that performance we belong in the AFC Championship. I do, however, like the over 48. I think that's kind of a little bit low. Whether the Titans blow them out and it's 31-13 game or it gets close 28-24, I think it's definitely going to hit the over.
Okay. No, what do you think?
Well, I think 31-13 adds up to 44, so that would be under.
Okay.
No, I agree with Teddy. I would take the Titans on this one. What are they, -5.5?
Minus, yeah, I have 5 here. I wrote all these down yesterday for the top part.
Even if Carson Wentz plays, he's been looking slow the last couple of years, but on 2 sprained ankles, he's going to look even slower. Who are they down to? Jacob Eason, Sam Ehlinger's out, so even if Carson Wentz can't play, they're down to their 3rd-string quarterback. And he didn't look all too great towards the end of the game last week.
Threw a pick on his first pass.
Yeah. So honestly, I think this could be a blowout, especially if Carson Wentz doesn't play. I'll probably end up taking the Titans on my card. As of right now, it's kind of up in the air. No, I'm going to take Titans on my card. I'm going to throw it in there. It's a decision I just made right now.
Awesome.
I think this could really end up being a blowout. Even if, like I said, even if Carson Wentz plays, he doesn't look good when healthy. And as far as the over-under goes, I don't know. I'm kind of back and forth on that. I think Teddy's right. It could end up just squeaking over. It's probably something I'm going to stay away from though. But if I had to go one or the other, I'd probably go over.
Yeah, I would say over on this one too. If Wentz plays, I'll take the 5 with the Colts because 0-2 desperate team in division. I think could be a field goal game. If Wentz does not play, I like the Titans to kick the hell out of them. So
Could be a pretty statement win for them, especially after that tough week 1 loss. I know last week was a pretty emotional win too. I don't know. I could just see it being a blowout.
Derrick Henry, because we didn't mention him, deserves Player of the Week, even though we didn't give him Player of the Week. What he did in the second half of that game was like vintage Tractor Cito from last year. He was amazing in the second half. One of the great, just him doing his thing again was awesome to see. I forgot watching that game unfold just how much he wears teams down in the second half and that he just gets like 6 yards a clip. It is so much fun to watch. Next game, LA, SoFi Stadium, potential NFC Championship preview. This game is going to be huge for seeding. We might have a first round bye on the line in this game with the Bucks and Rams when it comes down to tiebreakers. I wrote it down yesterday to pick them. I saw it at +2, the Rams today, and over under 54.5. You guys can use whatever line you want there. You Rams +2 or just a pick them there. Teddy, we'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is one game that we all are definitely going to be watching. The Rams seem to be, the offense is clicking. I like it. Obviously the Bucks blew out the Falcons. That's not really much to go off of. But I think this game means a lot more to the Rams than it does the Bucks. The Bucks, brought everyone back. They obviously won the Super Bowl. They know they're going to be in the playoffs, whether they do well or not early on. I think they're not too much. Again, just means more to Matt Stafford, the Rams, that franchise going forward. So I think it's that I'll take them. I think +1.5 right now. They'll pick them. I think they take them to win. It's gonna be like a 4 or 3 point game at the end. So I will go with the Rams and the over 56. Is that what you have it at?
I had 54.5 here, but they could have gone up since
yesterday. I'm looking at 56. Okay, but yeah. I think it comes like everyone's like, oh, offense. I believe the defense is going to win this. Defense win championships and week 3 and in the Super Bowl. So we're going to go with the under.
I like that. I like that pick a lot. I echo you with everything you said about the Rams. I agree with. Means more home. I love the Rams in this game. The Bucks defense, like the whole thing was, hey, they have the best defense in the league. They did have 2 pick sixes against Atlanta, but Atlanta was moving the ball. Dallas moved the ball. I know Dallas is a really good offense, but a little concern. I want to see them have a nice performance. I'll be like, all right, the Bucks are here. They may repeat all that jazz. No,
yeah, everyone.
Oh, sorry.
Everyone got fat and happy. They got paid on defense. They brought everyone back. Obviously, Tom can control the team, but you can only control the offense on the field. So I think the Rams are going to pull it out.
Yeah, I think you guys are swinging me a little bit towards the over and the Rams because honestly, before listening to you guys, I couldn't get a straight read on this game at all. This is one of those games where this could end up being the 2 best teams in the NFC at the end of the year. This could be an NFC Championship matchup right here in week 3. Sunday night football, this could be a shootout. But these are also 2 of the best defenses in the league. So this could be an ugly 17-13 game. Like I said, I think you guys are starting to pull me more towards, a shootout. It could get up towards that 55 point, but not quite cross it. So I do like the under a little bit more than the over. And I do like the Rams now a little bit more than the Bucks. But this is something that I was planning on staying away from and just throwing on my NFL cap, taking a seat like Rob Lowe and just enjoying a good football game.
Well, listen to the experts, Noah. Come on now.
I did go 2-6 last week, so I'm going to trust you more than I trust myself.
Next on the list, so that's a 425. We got another 1 o'clock here. Saints at the New England Patriots. The Patriots defense looks for real. The Saints looked Jekyll and Hyde too. After week 1, they get blown out in Carolina. Their third straight week on the road. They have not been home to New Orleans yet. Noah, you can lead us off with this one. The Patriots are -3 and the over-under is 43.
Yeah, I like the Patriots here. Just because the Saints are, it's their third straight game on the road. Technically, week 1 was home. Is this week technically they're home, but not really home, or is this in New England?
They're in New England.
They're in New England. Yeah, so even more of a case for the Patriots there. I know Mac Jones is a rookie, but the scouts were right. He was the most NFL-ready quarterback. I mean, we haven't seen Trey Lance or Justin Fields really, but I do think there is something to be said. But Mac Jones is probably the most NFL-ready quarterback. He's playing with Bill Belichick. It's in New England. I think this could be a close game. I still like Patriots -3 because I just think it's going to be tough for the Saints, tougher and tougher for the Saints to keep playing away from home. They're not even practicing in their home facility, I don't believe, just because of the state that New Orleans is in. I'm probably going to bet against the Saints, at least spread, for the next few weeks until they're at home. Their first home game in New Orleans, I'm definitely going to take them. It doesn't matter who they're playing. I think that's going to be a really emotional win. But I think they'll play better than last week. It's hard not to play better than last week. But I really don't like them this week. I'll take Patriots -3, and I'll probably take the under as well. That New England defense is really good. I just don't see them putting up a whole lot of points, but Mac Jones will score more points than Jameis Winston.
Has there been anyone – I don't think there's been a quarterback who's had a better life situation than Mac Jones. He went from Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban to Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels. How insane is that? It doesn't get better than that. I don't think it –
If only he had a legitimate wide receiver to throw it to. I mean, Jacoby Myers ain't bad. They got a couple weapons over there, but they don't really have a legit number 1 receiver. But I mean, you can't beat that coaching staff at situation. They're going to be a playoff team, quicker than I think they even realize. They might be able to sneak in this year. Don't think so. By next year, I think they'll be good.
Teddy.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with Noah for the most part, as far as we're asking a lot out of the Saints right now, going 3 straight weeks basically on the road, living out of the hotel. It's not easy, and then you're going to go all the way to Foxborough, not the easiest place to play. The Patriots do have a good formula, solid defense, and don't turn the ball over. Mac Jones is doing that right now for them. Obviously not putting up a lot of points, but he's keeping them in games, and the defense is taking care of business. Jameis, now it's regular season, not a preseason. I think he's settling down. We're going to see that he's not going to be changing too much of who he actually is. Patriots are just going to eat him up. Belichick's a QB eater, so he knows what he's going to be doing. And I will definitely be taking the Patriots -3. I love it. Could be my lock. Probably will be my lock. And then the over under. They dogged me week 1, but we're going to be back. And then. And then the over under is a little low. I do kind of like the over in this situation. The Saints definitely again have to be better than last week, and Mac Jones might have to take a step forward and start putting up a lot of points for them. So I'm going to take the over.
Yeah, I agree on the Patriots. I just can't picture Jameis going in there and getting a big time road win. I just can't see it happening. Patriots might be quasi back. They look legit, at least on defense. If Mac Jones just takes care of the ball, it's kind of it's a little Teddy Bridgewater-ish. It's a little Broncos-ish what they got going on.
I'm not out on Jameis. I think he'll win a good amount of games there, but he's
what would that be?
9,
13,
9 and 8, maybe 10 if they can really get it together. I do still believe that he can have one of the better years of his career. He always throws a lot of touchdowns. I mean, he's got Marquez Callaway. Hopefully Michael Thomas can get back, but he's got Kamara too. Sean Payton always figures out a way to put together a good offense. They got players on their defense. I think they could still compete. I just think it's going to be tough for them until they can finally get situated in their home stadium and their home practice field.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, like beating the Packers and Patriots and like being 2-1 after 3 weeks, that's very impressive. I don't think many teams can do that. And I just I can't see it. So prove me wrong, Jameis. Prove me wrong.
He's just a goofy dude. I don't know, like, yeah, he got his LASIK eye surgery. He could throw less interceptions than he usually does, but he's just a goofy dude. He's just gonna make some dumb decisions. Doesn't matter if his eyes are good or bad. Doesn't matter who's coaching him. He's gonna throw the ball away and make a bad play or two that's gonna cost him down the road.
Next game here, Sunday Night Football. Packers going to it's not Candlestick anymore. Going to San Francisco.
Make sure your age, Chuck.
The over-under is 47.5. 49ers -4 here. 49ers are 2-0. Packers 1-1. They played the past 2 years in San Francisco also. So 3 straight trips to San Francisco for the Green Bay Packers. Teddy, we will lead it off with you on this one.
I wasn't hoping I would be first. I'm trying to still get a nice read on this.
I'll go first.
All right, now I'll go first.
I like the Packers in this a lot. I know it's away. I know it's in San Fran, but I do like the Packers a lot. I know they got their teeth kicked in by the Saints, but if you remember all the way back before week 1, I was saying I think it's going to take one game to kind of get Aaron Rodgers in the mindset that, it's not the offseason anymore. He got his punch in the mouth. He woke up last week. They had a huge game. I know it was a little close in the first half, but that Packers offense really exploded in the second half. They put up a lot of points. I think they're going to put up a lot of points against San Francisco. Their secondary is banged up. They're running guys that I don't think they anticipated needing this early in the offseason. They're bringing up practice squad players already. And their offense did not look very good against the Eagles this past week. I still think the 49ers are going to be a good team. But I think the Packers are getting into game shape, so to speak, and they're going to start revving it up, and they're going to look a lot like the Packers we saw last year very soon. And I think this week's going to be the start of that.
Daddy, you got a read on it?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Packers as well. Noah pretty much said, Aaron Rodgers is warming up. He had that punch in the mouth week 1. The San Francisco 49ers just have a lot of iffy, maybe this through that. The offense definitely didn't look well. I think Green Bay will be able to stop the run better now. So I'm going to go with the Packers in prime time. Aaron Rodgers is going to get it done. The over-under, I'm going to go with the under on this one. Just because I want to. I have nothing to say about it. I just want to go with the under.
All right. I like the Packers too. Think this is very, very close game, very good game. Packers could certainly win it, so I'll take the points there. That's that's kind of it. I just think it's gonna be a really close game, and Packers could win it. Little concern. They looked way better in the second half, but the defense was shaky. So we'll see. Kyle Shanahan will have something. We'll see how the Packers respond to one of the better play callers that are out there. All right, so up next we got our cards. Dog of the week. So we go dog of the week, our cards, save your lock of the week for the end. Noah, if you wanted to start here.
Yeah, my card's going to be a little smaller this week, considering how rough last week was. So I'm hoping to kind of recoup some losses. So I only got 6. I will be taking Seahawks -1.5. I know it's at Minnesota. The Seahawks somehow always tend to not cover whenever I take them, but I think they're a much better team than the Vikings, and 1.5 is too much of a line. It's probably a trap. I'm going to take it anyway. It might come back to bite me, but so be it.
I'm adding Vikings to my card.
Do you want me to give you the lock or save that for the end?
Save the lock for the end. Do your dog of the week and
Okay.
everything else.
Okay.
now.
All right. So I will be taking Chargers plus 6.5. They're not my dog of the week. My dog of the week will be the Packers. As I mentioned, I love them. Probably take them outright. I know we only do spreads on the card, but they are my dog of the week. I will also be taking over 54.5 Chargers and Chiefs. Like I said, I think that game's going to be a shootout. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm throwing Titans minus 5.5 versus the Colts. It is in Tennessee. Do you want me to give my lock, or are we going to do that after?
Save it for the end.
Okay. All right. Those are 5 of my 6. I'll give my lock in a minute here.
All right.
All right. Yes, I'm up. Here we go. All right. I'm going to take Joe Burrow plus 3 against the Steelers. A little bounce back game. Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, he's playing better when he's hurt, but I don't care. I don't think it's going to matter. So I will be taking the Bengals plus 3. I am going to be taking the Falcons Giants over 47.5. I think it's one of those just points. And no one's going to be stopping anybody. It's just a windmill. And I'll be taking over 47.5 on that. Let's see. I love the Patriots. I'll be taking them. Teaser. I'll save that. I'll take the Chiefs minus 6.5 right now. Take the Titans minus 5.5. And I'm going to go with the Browns to cover the 7 points right now. A lot of hype around Justin Fields getting his first start. I think the Browns are very slept on right now. Obviously, a tough loss early on, but I think they're going to start rolling. So we'll take minus 7 for the Browns.
Okay.
I think that's it right now.
All right. So I don't know what I want my lock to be. All right, I got it. All right, so dog of the week is the Chargers. I love the Chargers in the spot. I do genuinely think they can win this game, and they're going to keep it very close. I expect it to be a lot like, I think it was week 2 or 3 last year, where it took 2 Harrison Butker 50-yarders in the 4th and overtime to beat them in Herbert's first start of his career. Very excited for that game. Ravens minus 8 at Detroit. I hate to say it, Teddy, but the Ravens, I feel like every time they play inferior opponent, they do just kill them. Like, I have no stats to back that up, but I'm not scared of a John Harbaugh team having a letdown after an emotional, much needed win, and the Ravens should go in there and win by double digits. I feel like it's harder to have a letdown with a team that just runs the ball and plays good defense. Like, this doesn't, I feel like that travels. That sort of thing travels. Giants minus 3. They're not losing to the Falcons. The Giants are a better team than the Falcons. Packers plus 4.
Ouch.
Rams plus 2. This will be one of those games where Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones a franchise quarterback? Like, that's what he'll do against Atlanta. And then my lock. So we'll start with locks. I already bet this today. Broncos minus 10. I got it at 10. I didn't want 10.5 because I don't like that non-football number thing. But I could see this being like a 20-3, 24-10, like something where the Jets may get 1 touchdown, but they're a complete mess. Going to Mile High. Broncos home opener. Their defense is really good, and Teddy Bridgewater is just going to make all the right plays, and they will coast to a victory there. Whoever wants to.
You're going against the Charles Scalise method.
It's I know. I had the Falcons
for a lock too. That's
I am that. He's now 37-13-1 against the spread in his career, and I'm going to keep riding Teddy Bridgewater.
Hard to go against it.
I don't know if I said my dog.
Well, hard to go against Teddy Bridgewater. I'm
going to add the Birds.
Okay.
Plus 4.
Do you want to talk about that game?
Yeah, we'll do locks and then we can talk about it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll go with the Birds plus 4 on the road in Dallas as my dog. And then my lock, kind of alluded to it earlier. I love the Patriots. I think they will shut down Jameis. Won't be close, at least a touchdown they win by.
I'm adding that to my official card, Patriots minus 3. I will follow you, Teddy.
Put me down for that one too. I'll take that. My lock is the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Dolphins. It is in Las Vegas. It's only -4 right now. I can see that going up. I can see that widening a substantial amount by Sunday. Maybe even up to 6.5 because Tua's not going to be playing. He's got a broken rib or something. So it's going to be the Jacoby Brissett show. They look terrible against the Bills. I don't think the Raiders are as good as the Bills. I don't think their defense is nearly as good as the Bills is. But Derek Carr's look spectacular. I don't think the Dolphins are going to have an easy time slowing down Waller. The Raiders could be looking at 3-0. And I think it's going to be another blowout. The Dolphins, I really liked them last year. I thought they were going to make the playoffs. But, it could be another tough season for Miami.
This is a revenge game too from last year around Christmas time. I think the Dolphins beat the Raiders on the Fitzpatrick getting his face mask pulled and throwing like a blind ball down the field and then ending up kicking a field goal to win it at the end after a Nelson Aguilar like 80-yard touchdown to take the lead. So this is maybe John Gruden's replaying that in their minds. So that'll be a fun one. I love the Vegas Raiders. Like I love that they're good. Or at least look good. I love their stadium. It looks awesome. So I'm excited for that one too.
Their offense. I was worried week one, the first couple of drives against the Ravens, they looked not good at all. But man, that offense could be electric this year. I really like second-year wideout Bryan Edwards. Darren Waller's probably the second best tight end in the league. I like him a little bit more than Kittle, at least from a receiving aspect. Even with Josh Jacobs out, you still have Kenyon Drake. And I think they have Peyton Barber as a number 3. That's a good offense. As long as their line can protect Derek Carr, they're going to be putting up a lot of points every week.
If that moves to 5.5, I'm ripping the Dolphins. Just because the confidence Noah shows. It's the NFL. Any given Sunday,
right now it stands at 4. Right now it stands at 4. I definitely take it if it crept up towards 5.5, 6.5. Maybe as far as how much I actually end up putting on it when it comes down to actually placing these bets on Sunday. Maybe I don't put as much on it. Probably still take it anyway, but at -4, that's a lock.
And I do have, before we get into the Eagles Cowboys, I do have a teaser that I'm workshopping at the moment. Luckily I had the Dolphins in the teaser last week. I took them out before I actually placed it, thank God, because they were not even close. It was would have been plus 10.5 for the Dolphins. I like Bills pick 'em, Ravens -1, Browns pick 'em, Chargers plus 13.5, plus 200, 7-point teaser. I don't see how that loses. All right, so
I might have to jump in on your teasers. They're what, 2-0?
2-0. They're plus 2. 4 teams plus 200.
Oh.
They're fun. All right, so Cowboys Eagles Monday Night Football. Just the way that my week kind of goes, I'm already looking ahead at next week come Monday. So I don't know if I'm actually going to play this game. I would say that I think the Eagles are plus 4. I mean, I think taking any NFC East underdog with the points, I think you profit doing that every time one of the matchups happens. So that's kind of the Cowboys offense is really good. It should be a fun game. I mean, they haven't played on Monday night in years. It's always Sunday night. So it should be fun. I'm excited for it. We'll see. I think we'll have a way better read on what the Eagles are than the past 2 weeks, and we'll move from there. But excited. They have a chance in this game, so it should be fun. What do you think, Teddy?
Yeah, I think first score wins. So I'm gonna go with the Birds. They're gonna get the ball, go down the field. Electric factor, you could say. I agree with you. Just taking a dog in the NFC East is not a bad bet. You're on the right side, or at least it will be the right bet thing, right? No one really knows who the Cowboys are. They barely, won this last week, and then they, basically almost stuck it to the Bucs in week 1. No one really knows the identity of that team, and then obviously divisional games you can figure that out. So I think the Eagles gonna have a strong pulling for it and hopefully win. Obviously, we all want Eagles win, but I think they at least cover.
Yeah, last week's Eagles game was such a weird game. I know I was dogging on the Niners defense, but the Eagles only scored 11 points.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a testament to, how good the Niners defense is, or how pedestrian the Eagles offense is. I know the Eagles offense looked great against Atlanta, but their defense is terrible. The Bucs just put up 48 on them. I know they had 2 pick sixes, but I don't know. I don't know. The Cowboys offense is going to be a hard one to slow down, but the Niners did score 41 points against the Lions. So it's very, very difficult to get a good reading on the Eagles right now. The Cowboys, they only put up 20 points against the Chargers. Is the Chargers defense that good? I really don't know. This is kind of in the same boat like how I am for the Rams and Bucks. I wasn't really planning on betting on it. Obviously, I'm an Eagles fan, so I'm going to want to take the points. I might even take them outright, depending on how I do on Sunday. This might be something I just kind of, like I said, sit back and just enjoy a good football game. I think the over-under is 51.5. I'd probably go over on that. Honestly, even though, like I said, I don't really know what the Eagles offense is like. The Cowboys defense, I don't think is going to be nearly as good as a banged up Niners defense, even though the Chargers still only put up 17 points. So there's just so many different factors going into this game on what I think of these teams that I can't get a straight reading on it at all. This is just a very weird game. I think the Cowboys are probably going to win, but
watch your mouth, sir.
I don't know.
This is a kid's show.
I love the Eagles. I think they have a chance to win the NFC East. The Cowboys defense is banged up already. La'el Collins isn't playing. But damn, that offense looks so good. Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard looks like a true RB1 right now. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper. I know they don't have Gallup, but Blake Jarwin and Dalton Schultz are no slouches. I mean,
Cedric Wilson looked good too last week.
Cedric Wilson.
Chargers.
I hate the Cowboys so much, but and they always find a way to shoot themselves in the foot. But early on, man, that offense could be dangerous.
I need to know if Mike McCarthy is smashing any watermelons, or I will not play this game.
It's in
I
Dallas
need to get a
too,
definite yes or no. And once I know that, then I'll proceed and I'll make a pick.
Like I said, this is probably something I'm going to stay away from just to get a better read on the two teams. I think after 3 weeks, we'll kind of see if week 1 was a fluke for these teams or if week 2 was a fluke for these teams. Because both teams in week 1 had very high scoring games, and both teams in week 2 had very, very, mediocre offensive performances.
Yeah. I think I know what the Cowboys are. I'm not sure what the Eagles are. The Cowboys look like a legit, not like a Super Bowl contender, but they look like it's hard to go into LA and win that game the way they did. And then competing with the Bucs, I think was impressive. Maybe the Bucs kind of gave they had 3 or 4 turnovers. I get that, but there's, something to be said for that. They look like a good team. I don't think they'll run away with the division by any means, but they look good. The Eagles, because we haven't seen, we've seen 2 games of Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. Like we've seen 10 games of McCarthy and Dak and all them. So that's kind of how I see the Cowboys.
Cowboys, they're going to do what they always do. They're going to go like 6-2 in their first 8 games, and they're going to somehow finish 9-8. And it's just what they do.
Teddy?
But not Monday. That's
but not Monday. That could be the second loss in their first 8.
Yeah, exactly. And then they'll start rolling. Yeah. I just think it's a big game more so for the Eagles and that young roster. And that's like a big, all right, let's get a divisional win. Like, here we go. So I'm going to go with, just going to pull it out and we will see. My heart's going to be with the Birds too. So that's always going to be there.
I do want to see their schedule because I believe this is like hey, if we win this, we kind of have all right, yeah. So that not going to say it's a must win. Might be a can't lose at Dallas. So it goes Dallas, home against Kansas City, at Carolina, home against the Bucs, at the Vegas Raiders. It's a tough stretch.
Yeah, let's go must win. Yeah, let's go.
I think you should win at Carolina.
Yeah, it's definitely not hey, they can't win that game, but Carolina looks like they can play.
Bucs are going to be tough. you're gonna have to have the game of your life, Jalen Hurts, to beat the Bucks.
It is a Thursday night too. Maybe you catch them on a short week.
Yeah, who knows?
Oh.
But even the Raiders, I mean, we'll see what happens over the course of the next 3 weeks. But going to Las Vegas and playing the Raiders, that might not even be a very easy win. Not like I thought it would be, at least going into the season. I didn't really see the Raiders being this good.
Yeah, they've been impressive. Any closing thoughts on the Eagles, on something that we hadn't touched on? There were a couple games like Bills football team we didn't really touch on, Cardinals, Jags. Don't know if there's anything there that kind of interests you, either from a gambling perspective or just from a liking football perspective.
A couple things. I've taken the Jalen Hurts over in rushing. I had it in a parlay that didn't hit this week, but Jalen Hurts has hit the over in rushing yards the first 2 weeks. I don't know what it looks like right now, but it's definitely something worth looking into. He's going to hit right around 70 yards rushing almost every week, or at least get in that 50 to 70 range. He runs the ball a lot. He's very good at it. That is something that I maybe start taking on a weekly basis. And I also really like taking Cardinals overs. They don't have the best of defenses, and they have a great offense. I took them the first 2 weeks. It just missed the first week because of it. Matt Prater missed field goal. It obviously hit last week. They are playing the Jaguars this week, which is a little concerning because the Jaguars' offense has not looked very good at all. So I'm probably going to stay away this week, but that is another bet that I'm probably going to take a lot this year, Cardinals over.
All right.
Yeah, I kind of like, especially when there's like above a touchdown dog. I do like those first quarter bets because either something like they just keep the score tied and that hits, or they somehow get the ball first, go down, score a touchdown, and everyone's freaking out about the spread already. So, but get in and out with the first quarter bet. So that's something to look forward to. I can't put it on right now. It's a feeler thing, like right before the game on that Sunday. So something to look out for.
I like that. Yeah, you did that with the Lions, right? You had them first quarter.
Yes. But I also took the parlay with the Phillies, and the Phillies, that's a whole nother subject, losing to the Orioles. But I came out even at the end of the night. But yeah.
All right. That has been week 3 NFL show. We're all going to be above 500 this week. Jeff's